and he doesn't come up. Paulson plays correctly. He goes back. And then Morphy takes the rook. Paulson takes back. And it ends right here. It says, and the game was drawn. Although white has 2 and might have 3 pawns more than black, he cannot win. All right, now, folks, there's a G pawn on the board, right? But the king's not in that mating net. That's the crucial aspect of that other variation we just looked at, okay, the other line. But I was saying how maybe white could win this somehow. So I had to play. I played Shredder and I played Chess Genius here, the 2 engines, okay, the 2 apps I have. And I'll tell you, look, I'll put it on. I'll show you what's going on. I'll put the engine just to help out a little bit. Okay, now let's say white comes up. He wants to just take this pawn, right? Okay, so he trades. Okay, and this is what's going to happen. Okay, the black king should stay in the corner. All right, he's going to try to get that dark square blockade. All right, he wants to block him on the dark squares. Okay, again, look, folks, look at this. Look, are we going to be a dope? It's white's move, right? Are we going to be a dope and take like this? Come on, we got to dummy up, folks. This is ridiculous now. We got isolated F pawns and H pawns. Black just puts his bishop, swings his bishop. What are you going to do? You're going to do this all day long, all night long. It's a draw, folks. There's nothing that could be done. Nothing that can be done, right? Nothing that could be. Whose move is it? Black's? All right, big deal. We go here. Look, you just go back and forth. There's no pressure. White could apply no pressure to the dark squares, right? What is he going to do? Come up? I mean, big deal. What are you doing? What are we talking about here? Right? If he tries to push on, you just take it, right? I mean, there's nothing. That G7 pawn backs up the bishop. All right, so say you do something like this. You're trying, right? You're trying to, it doesn't even matter, folks. You're trying to get rid of this guy over here, right? I mean, it doesn't matter. Let's say, just for instance, right, for argument's sake, he takes, right? Then when you go to take him, you move the king. Now you got the dark square. Still, look, now the king backs up the bishop, right? This dark square blockade, you see? There's nothing that can be done. You try it at home. See how far you get. You'll be there for weeks trying to crack through. Trust me, right? It's good exercise, though. Good exercise. You try to work this one out, right? Okay. Not even Karpov could crack this one. He'd get up from the board. He'd tell you right away, draw. No way. No way. You can't do anything. All right, so don't be a dope. Don't take like this, right? You move the king up. All right, he trades like this. You trade. All right, now we got our pawns, right? They can link up. We could try to take over the dark squares. All right, for instance, we're going to try to get our pawns on H4 and G5, right? And we'll see if we could get our king in there. We swap places with the bishop. We push our pawns. We try to win that G7 pawn and then have two pawns either on the F and G file or the G and H file. We need 2 pawns side by side, all right? But black has just enough to fight this off, I believe. I mean, I'm no endgame expert. I'd be able to probably break it down a little easier. So what I did was I used the engine to try to help me, right? So, all right. Right now it's okay. King over here, right? Here we go. Look at this. G4. Okay, now, look. The bishop tries to be a nuisance, okay? And you're going to need this bishop to do so. He's going after the pawn, right? If I come up here, forget it. He takes there, all right? He picks off one pawn, then it's even easier. Okay, so no move but to get out of the way of that pawn, right? After bishop putting pressure on H2, all right, we move our king out of the way. Now we're gonna throw the pawn up to H4 and then push G5, right? And we're looking pretty good. Okay, here we go. Look, okay, here he goes. The engine, right? He goes there. Now, if I come up, right? Now, look, now he wants the dark square blockade. He's trying to keep this guy, right? He's keeping H4 from coming up. For instance, if he goes and attacks the pawn now, it comes up, right? And then we push G5 next. Look, see? There we go. We start taking over those dark squares. That's what we're fighting. We're trying to fight for the dark squares now. We can only do that with our pawns, right? The bishop on g6 is no help for us. Okay. Now, so after this, you see the engine? Look, bishop on g5, keeping the pawn from coming up. He's still controlling h4. All right. Now, look, the king over. Does it make sense, folks? I hope it's making sense. King over. Now we're going to push h4, kick that bishop out of there, right? Okay. He can't come here, right? We chop him off. He can't take control of this diagonal anymore. I mean, he could come back. Doesn't matter. We got king support now, right? All right. So look at what he does. What does he do? He wants to move the king up, right? Now, eventually, the best defense would be the king's, from what I found anyway, the king's going to go in the corner, right? I mean, here he comes. All right, let's see what the engine does. Just, I'm curious now, right? Now, and again, folks, I'm not letting the engine run for time, you know, just for time here. We're on the fly, right? I don't want to, when I was playing Shredder against this, you know, I let the engine run for a few minutes on each move, let it go deep, and it would come up with its best move. So maybe eventually he wouldn't move this king up and out. I mean, right away, the first thought is this one, it's saying, right? Okay? But then it switches to this idea. All right, we'll go with that. Okay. Our move is h4. We're going to kick that bishop out of there. Okay, now he goes to d2. All right. So, here, I have no idea why this is being played, right? I really think this is a draw, so the moves start to get senseless, okay? But the idea, I want to try to show you the idea the way I understand it, right? So, we take over the dark squares with this, right? Now he's a pest, right? This bishop's going to be a pest over here. Okay, he attacks my king. All right, they give this. Okay. Now, you don't want to come here. You know why? Because we want to switch our bishop. We want to maneuver our bishop to h5 and then swing him out on this diagonal and then have him come on this diagonal. All right, you'll see what I'm saying. You're going to want to do this. Look, you're going to want to swing this guy. Okay, we go to h3 for now. You'll see what I'm talking about. Okay, so if we do like the engine's saying, we swing the bishop this way, we're going to swing him here, we're going to swing him to c4. Look, we're taking over this diagonal. Now the king can't get in the corner, right? Very crucial, the king can't get in the corner. All right, so here's our moves. We're starting from all the way over here. We're going this way, right? All right, so now watch the engine. Let's see if he can figure this out. He's got to do it now. If he doesn't move, we're going to block that king out. If he doesn't play king to f8, he's working off the bishop to f4, right? Okay. Let him think. I let Shredder think for a while. Maybe he'll come up with king to f8. I know we're killing time here. I want to see it. I'm curious if he could figure it out too. I mean, maybe there's another defense like this, you know, keeping the king on e7, maybe. I don't know. Let's go with his move, and we'll see how it works out. Remember this. I'm going to come back to this one and play king f8. But let's go with his line, right? Okay. Now I move the bishop down. Okay. Here we go. All right. King d6. Look at this. He's coming all the way out. He's running further from the pawn, huh? I'm going to march my king right up now. Here we go. Watch this. Let's see what he does. He may still have the defense here, folks. He may still have the defense. I don't know. All right, here we go. King up, huh? King up. Why don't we play? All right, we could play bishop c4 if he makes a run for f8. If the king makes a run for f8, right? We could hit him with c4. Yeah, he'll never get it. He'll never get in that corner. So we got to move right now, right? We'll position our king up front, right? Pressuring on. Here we go. You do it now. All right, fine. All right. So now the king's blocked out. You see that, folks? He can't get to h8. He can't get over here. He can't stop this, right? So what does it all mean? Okay, here we go. All right. Now once I go up. Once the king comes here, he's going to play Bishop E1, attacking H4, right? Sure. There you go, right? He's gonna, if I try to come up, he takes him out. See, this is what you gotta do as black. You gotta be a nuisance. You gotta just enough tactics to fight back, okay? He's gonna pick off that pawn, all right. So, right now the engine's saying, now let's see how this works. Watch this. You push here, right? And you see what happens? Look, the engine, not even... Look, if you come over here, you're trying to get in the corner. You can't. You see that? You can't. Now, what do you... A lot of you might be saying, take the damn pawn. Take it. If he takes, you got two of them. 2 for 1. Not a bad trade, right? But look, folks, it doesn't work that way. Because now white pushes on. See this? Now what are you going to do, right? Look. If the king comes back, I mean, heck, folks, next move, okay, let's just burn a move, right? Burn a move, I don't know, however you want to waste one. Look, the pawn's coming up and it's daylight, folks. It has daylight. Pawn to G8, it's queens, right? It comes in queens. There's no way. No, what's black going to do? He can't get, and even at this point, we burned a move. Use that dark square bishop to stop him. You can't. You can't get to H6. You can't get to this little diagonal to stop him. You got to try to take him out on G7. You can't do it. Can't do it, right? Totally impossible, right? So the king only moved. King's got to come back. But I'm sure you see it, folks. Now we move the king up and take control of G7. We're pushing next. We're going right in with check, with a tempo to the black king, and then pawn to G8 queen. It's over. I mean, whatever. He can take this one if he wants. Forget about it. It's all over. There's the check. Give me my queen. It's all over. Game over. The dark square bishop doesn't stand a chance. It's all over. Right? It's all over. Come on. Oh, what is this? Is this mate? I don't even know. Right? Is it mate? Come on, folks. Come on. Get out of here. Get out of here. You're a pest, you little pest. Come on. All right. So it's all over now, folks. He gets mated, okay? You get the bishop over there is protected. All right. He's supporting F6. F6 is supporting him. Makes no difference. We got him on the light squares, all right? We'll get him on the light squares. Come on, this is nothing. Reposition this guy, right? What's the dark square bishop going to do, huh? What's he going to do? Look. All right, take your pick. Where are you going? B4 or B2, right? All right, he says B2. He goes in the corner. Doesn't seem too sharp, this thing here. All right, here he goes. What's he going to do? All right, you want to go there? All right, fine. There you go. Game over, right? Where's he going from here anyway? He goes here. Where's he going to go? Where's he going to go? You going to move the bishop? Come on, is he going to move the bishop? Come on, what are we talking? Hey, come on now. Why am I even? I'm just showing you the technique, I guess, for the beginners. You know, whoever's doubting me out here, right? Look, anyway. There you go, right? So the bishop goes back, you got the pawn, push, he takes, you push through, folks, you push through and it's over. This is beautiful stuff, right? Who says the endgame's boring? Come on, look at this, folks. You gotta love it, right? Okay, so look here, like I said, like I was saying here, where were we? Okay, so when the like I said, at this point, right, he's got to make a run for the corner. The king's got to get in the corner. Here he goes. This is what I was talking about. All right, not bishop F4, okay? We brought it back to where I was saying. I got to help the engine a little here. The king's got to get in the corner, right? Okay, now he's saying to push. How about this, huh? Look at this now. Wait. Let's look at the engine now, saying to push here. Push. All right, you actually take back, huh? I mean, what good's that going to do once? All right, okay, wait a minute now. Once he hits him, right? We can't, the white king can't protect F6. He's going to lose that pawn, but he's got to just push him up, right? Now, dark squares, folks. Dark squares. It's a draw, okay? Why do I say this? All right, because look. Oh, look, real cute. Look at this one, huh? The engine throwing a bishop. Here, take me, right? What are we talking about here? Look, come on, don't fall for those cheapos. Look, come on. The bishop does nothing over there. Big deal. Look, here's how it works, folks. The game is drawn. Remember I said dark squares? Okay. Here we go. This is how it works. Look, the bishop's going to go over here, and the king, whatever, h to give h5. Look at this. The king will go over here, right? He'll sit in the corner. All right, he'll sit in the corner. Big deal, right? Here you go. The bishop here is going to sacrifice himself for this guy, and we got a very other interesting key, a key characteristic, that's the word, of this position. Look, you bring your bishop, or whatever. You bring your bishop back. You bring it back. Oh, you got to bring up the king to help out, right? It doesn't matter though. It doesn't matter at all. Look, what are you gonna do, folks? What are you gonna do? Look, the king comes up. Okay, the black king is he's in a mating net, and again, look, he has no squares. But in this scenario, how is white gonna check him? Right? It's like that other line. He's in a mating net, and all white has to do is to give him check, and it's checkmate. But how could white give him check, folks? Look at the position. Actually, he could even chop off. Is it black's move? He could chop off the pawn. We weren't even watching that one, right? All right, but anyway, look. Let me make it clear. I mean, he could have chopped it off before, right? All right, but look, the king comes up, okay, and you can never make any headway because the dark squares, folks. He's on the dark squares. Don't you get it? Look, he comes here, right? You're going to push these pawns. How is white going to check black? See, now the key feature, like I was saying, the characteristic is white has a light square bishop. It's the wrong color. The king could sit in the corner forever. There's nothing white can do. So eventually when he wins this bishop, okay, when he wins the bishop, okay, when he wins this bishop, for instance, he comes over here, right? And you know what? I don't even think he can win the bishop, can he? Because, I mean, if he goes here, right, it doesn't matter. Dark square blockade, right? It's a dark square blockade. You know, if you do something like this, look, you go sacking it like that, you know. Now would that win? That might actually win. I mean, you fall for these traps. I was just trying to show something. Oh, wait a minute. No. He goes in the corner. He goes in the corner. If he takes the pawn, he loses. I'll tell you, folks. This has my head spinning. Now it's a win for white. It's a win. He backs the king over back to e8. He pushes the pawn in for a win, right? But look, he goes here. The bishop's immune. Look, you can't take him. It's stalemate. It's stalemate. See, there's no check. He's in a mating net. There's no check. The black king can't move. G8, impossible. G7, impossible. And don't forget the bishop on D3. That's stalemate still. See this? All right, so I'm learning as I go. There's a lot of jokes in there, right? But my point is, the bishop's the wrong color. You can't get that king out of the corner. It's a good thing to learn when white has. Let's do this. Look. Let's see. Right. Set up position. Right, here we go. Let's take this one away. Right. We'll take that guy. Boom. Alakazam. It's gone. Right. Now look. In this scenario, you take away this one too. Right. That's a draw. That's a draw, folks. No matter what you do. Okay, let's do it. Let's do set up position. Let's play it, right? Play position, how we do it. How do we do this? Right, set up position, okay, right? Who cares whose move it is, right? Here we go. What are you going to do? Look. Oh, it's white's move. Big deal. Doesn't even matter. You can never get that king out of the corner. You can't get him out of the corner. See that? Right? No matter now if you come up, stalemate. He can't move. He's not in check, though. It's a draw. See this? That's stalemate for you. Now, let's go back to the magic, right? Let's go back to the magic. Let's set up position, right? Here's a little bonus, right? A little bonus. Let's take this king. Oh, I'll tell you what. We'll leave the presto, changeo, boom. Right, we put the king back right there, right? Now, let's change this guy. Let's change this guy. We'll put him over here, right? Dark square bishop. Now the king's in the corner. See, it's dark. The square is dark, this corner. We could win this one, folks. How? Okay, here we go. Here comes the magic again. Here we go. The magic of technology, right? Here comes the king coming up, right? Okay, it's black's move. Doesn't matter whose move. All right, you go there, right? Okay, let's buy some time. Let's put the bishop there. That looks like a good square. Now he can't go in the corner, can he? All right, so where's he go? He's only got one move, folks. There you go. To the light squares. Here comes the king up. And now, look at this. He's denied, folks. He can't go in the corner. Dark square bishop. All right, there we go. Now we push the pawn up. See the difference? Queening, next move. That's it. It's going to be mate, right? King can only come here or here, whatever. You take your pick, right? There you go, queen. See the difference? All right. So these are the tactics, the little key positions you got to know, folks. If you build up with all these little positions, it helps you get through the game. You know what I mean? Saves a draw, gets you a win. You never know, right? All right. So there we go. That's that. All right. So now, anyway, we go back. This is a little tricky. So anyway, let's put our position back, I guess. Right? I'm gonna have to remember this one. Here we go. I'll get this back. I know we're taking some time here, right? Where did I find setup position? All right. Haven't really done this much. Okay, let's see. Let's get it. Let's get them all cleared, right? All right, here we go, right? We had the king here. We had the black king here. We had a pawn, right? Well, my fault. We had a pawn there, right? We had uno, dos, tres, right? We had the black pawn here. We had the bishop. I believe he was there, right? And we had the rook here. We had the king here. Rook, bishop, right? Pawn. Oh, my fault. This guy wasn't here. He was here, right? I think, wait, not mistaken, yes. This guy was here. Remember they attacked F2. Remember that? Okay. So anyway, yeah, I remember long ago, right? All right, so we set this guy up again, right? It's white's move, right? White to move. We gotta check that one, okay? And then we put okay. There we go. Look. So here it was, folks. Morphy gave the check. Paulson came back. We traded. Boom, boom, boom. Right now. Oh, the king was up here. My fault. I had one thing wrong in that position. All right, everything counts, right? Everything counts. King was up here. All right. All right, there you go. Everything, it all matters, folks. It all matters. All right, here we go. That's the position. All right. King went back. Won't be traded. And then they said draw, right? Well, anyway, here comes the king. You trade. Okay, this is our hypothetical what if, right? If this is how it could have went. The engine played over here. Okay, we push this. The bishop becomes a nuisance. Now, well, let's get back. It's going to be a draw for black, right? We move this. Okay, he comes in here, stopping this guy. All right, we start marching up. He comes in here. Remember all this, folks? King over. Going to push H4. All right, he played this. Okay, we push H4. Okay, here we go. Look, he's going to be a nuisance now. If I move off this guy, he takes him, right? Okay. So we got to play king over to H3. Only move, protect H4 pawn. All right, so now the king wants to come up. All right, we push there, right? What's he do? I don't know. He moves over here. All right, we moved our bishop back, right? All right, the king's got to get over there quickly. He's got to get over there, get in the corner. Look at this. Check. Okay, just in time. Boom. He goes in, right? He goes in. Okay. Now, let's look at it. F6, right? F6. Okay, he takes. I take. Okay. He could attack him with the bishop. We would move him up. And we were determining, look, if he attacks, the pawn is forced up. And then the king comes in. And the bishop, the king stops F8, right? And then no matter what you do, the bishop takes out the F pawn and the king handles the corner. Remember what we talked about? The wrong color bishop, okay? He's safe on H8. And there's nothing. Once the bishop takes out the f pawn, it's all over, folks, right? Doesn't matter if white wins that bishop, that dark square bishop. It's a draw, okay? So we can't push on yet, okay? So the engine's saying to push on now, but we're not going to do it, right? We're going to try something different. Look at this now. Look at the hidden resources here. Now I'm going to try to get my king up to g6, right? Okay. All right. So now he can play it like this, right? If I push here, he wins both pawns now. You know, he chops them both off. Forget it, draw. Okay? That's what I guess he's doing. All right, here comes my king, right? King coming up. I want to go to g6, right? I want to go to g6, for instance, just to waste a move, right? I get up here, and then I push, you know, then I push this guy. Then I could push again, right, and push the other f-pawn up, and then it gets dangerous. He could maybe work one, right? Like, for instance, if he stays on here, you push this guy. Let's see. Yes, if I go, like I could push this one, okay? I think this wins now. If he takes, right, I take with the king because I want to keep these two pawns. This is what I was talking about. You want to keep the f and the g pawns together, folks. You want to keep them adjacent so they could actually control the dark squares. What do I mean? All right, say like, you know, any move of the bishop. Look, we push here. What's he going to sack himself? I mean, he can't. He can't now. The pawn goes in, okay? And it's not... Look, if he sacks him now, you got to understand, there's no draw in this scenario. Only against an H pawn does the black king work out, you know, he can hold the draw. But this is an F pawn, folks. He's going in. Actually, oh, my God, it's stalemate. I didn't even see it. Oh, come on. Right, it's a stalemate. See, you got tactical resources. Holy cow. All right, so we can't get the stalemate. I'd say we move the bishop off that diagonal then. Holy cow. Right? Whew, man. Very mean, very mean. All right. See, hidden resources. You gotta always watch. I just fell for the blooper right there. I just fell into a blooper. All right, so anyway, king up, right? Look at what's he gonna do, folks. Look, a mate in 9. A mate in 9. Look at that, huh? Look at this. Okay, let's see. Let's find a mate. I mean, it's over, folks. This is over. You see the difference? Okay, I know what he's going to do now, right? Here he goes, right? Bishop over. Okay. Now we're pushing. We're going to... If he doesn't go in, folks, if he doesn't go back, if he goes over here, we block him right out. And we're going to play g7 next, forcing him to sack it, right? Okay. So he tries going inside. He tries going in there. We push it anyway. All right. He's got to sack it, right? Now we can take, because luckily our bishop's not on this diagonal, so he's got g8. See the difference? If our bishop was on c4, it would be stalemate again. It would, in this position. If the bishop's on c4, it controls g8. It would be stalemate again. All right. All right. So here we go. All right. Big deal. Now we waste the tempo. There you go. We waste the tempo. Like this. The king goes back. Yeah, we just get the check on him. We get the check on him. See that? He goes here. Look at this. We force him out. He comes out. We come up. Well, we just, there you go. You queen him. And then he comes here and it's game over, right? All right. There you go. Beautiful, right? All right, just to show you, this is what white is going for. He wants two pawns side by side. The bishop doesn't stand a chance then, right? Okay, so this is our idea. But again, folks, we burned a move. Look, bishop to c3. You come up. I do a senseless move. Bishop d4. No. Here you go. You harass the h pawn. He wants to come up, right? You lose the pawn then. See? You got hidden resources, right? All right, so now what do you do? All right, so now let's see. If we try this idea, we saw something similar, right? You take, right? The king, The pawn's going to move up, right? But now look, he attacks it, right? If he moves up, we got the same situation as before, right? I mean, heck, you don't even have to do this one. You could do this one. Keep the king over there forever, right? King sits on h8 forever. It's all over. It's a draw. Dark square blockade completed, right? Mission accomplished. What could you do again, folks? H pawn. Don't you get it? It can't do anything to that king. Okay? You push him up all you want, right? You try to maneuver, right? You try to maneuver. It doesn't matter. I mean, it's a draw. It's a total draw. Can't do anything. You try to maneuver this guy over. Look, you try to maneuver him over to win the bishop. I'm just showing you scenario, right? Look, you try to queen this guy, right? You take him out. That's why the bishop has to always keep an eye on f8. Once the king takes, there you go, draw, right? Again, draw. You can't get this king out of the corner. Dark square, corner. You see what I'm saying? Look, that's stalemate. There you go. Once you cover those three squares, G8, H7, and G7, that's it. The king is safe on H8. So it's stalemate, right? All right. Okay, so Dave, let's go back. Let's go back. You can't do that. You can't do that. Just going over scenarios. You can't even try this yet. You can't do it. Now, can you push up? Can you try a push up, right? Can you push past the pawn on f6, right? You play g6. No, because now the king's got this. He's got the g7 square. Dark square blockade all over, right? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Now the bishop position's over here. And look, you do this all night long. What are you going to do, folks? What are you going to do? Dark square blockade now on f6, g7, and h6. See how it works? You can't control the dark squares, right? So, I mean, this is, I hope I'm getting it through to you. You see, how could the king push h6? Can't do it. The king can't support anything on the dark squares. He can't do it. It's a draw, right? Can't take out this guy. This pawn is safe. That's it. Draw, right? You're gonna push. It's black's move, right? You're gonna push ahead. Big deal. There you go. It's all over, right? It's all over. King over here. Now what? Now what? It's all over. It doesn't matter. All right. So there you go. Opposite color bishops. This is why you get more draws than any other type of endgame. So I think we exhausted it. You see how it works. There's there's no way. There's nothing that can be done. I mean, okay, let's try this, right? Maybe this is an idea. You get you push h4, the pawn takes, then you push g. But look again. Okay, here comes the dark squares. Watch this. All right, here maybe you do this, right? King up. How about that, right? King up. All right, now what are you gonna do? I mean, the minute you do this, right? The minute you do this, what do you see, folks? Dark square blockade, right? Again, he's in a mating net like before, but how are we going to check him, right? To give mate. We can't. The G-pawn passed, right? I don't know. Make your move. Look, doesn't matter. Now the bishop dances along the diagonal all day long, all night long. All right? I know I'm repeating myself, but I'm showing you in different scenarios the way they crop up, right? It's just there's nothing you can do. All right, let's buy a. I mean, you try to buy a tempo. You make a move, right, hoping the king goes back. Then maybe you push up here. But no, folks, he doesn't back off. He doesn't back off. You just move this guy. You got a tempo over here. You move the dark square bishop now whenever you want a tempo, right? I mean, come on. It's no different. You get the bishop check. All right, he comes here, right? All right, big deal. Now what? Right now what? Now you want to push. He takes. You want to push g6. Your bishop's in the way, right? And you do this. Dark square blockade, folks. Dark square blockade. Bishop in. There you go. You cover this. Now you don't have to wait till he gets to f8. You just wait till he crosses f6. You see what I mean? Look, you just stay over here, right? You hide in the weeds. Right? You hide over here in the weeds. And then when he pushes this guy, you chop him right off. There you go. Good night. There. Boom. Stalemate. Right? Why? Because, I should say draw. He's got G6. Folks, again, what are you going to do? How are you going to get him out? Are you going to try to make a run for the corner? You can't. The king's in there. That's it. Stalemate. What are you going to do? Right? He comes in and out. Comes in and out of the hole. Right? He's like a golfer hiding in the hole on H8. That's it. You can't do anything. Right? Can't do anything. The minute you make a move up here, that's it. Stalemate. Boom. Stalemate once again. Dark squares, folks. All right. Look, I know for you guys, experienced guys, you're laughing. I know this is obvious, right? This is for those learning. I want you to understand the concept. Bishops of opposite colors. Because that way, in the next game, when it crops up, we'll go, ho, there you go. Bishops of opposite color draw. And we don't have to exhaust ourselves, right? We know it. We know it. There might be key little things in the position that could make it different. We'll always investigate it, right? But there you go. All right? So this is like an added little bonus lesson that I want you to understand why they so quickly just said, oh, it's a draw, right? These guys, come on, folks. These guys were masters. Paulson and Morphy, I know it was long ago, but folks, you got to understand, they were masters. They were strong players, okay? So, they knew the deal, all right? They knew the deal, and there you go. I think we exhausted it. We showed many lines. I kind of learned a lot myself. I refreshed my memory, Because looking at this, I had to say, now, what's funny is, like this, going all the way back, right? I even said, hey, why take over here? Why take over here as black, right? Why take over there and then maybe you give white the chance to blunder? How about this? You play the bishop back, protect H4. Did you even think of it? And then if white's dumb enough, he can't take with the king, right? If he's dumb enough to take like this, now no G-pawn. Control of the dark squares is ours. We got it. He could do nothing, right? He can't apply pressure with his pawns on the dark squares because these pawns can't support one another in any way, right? No G-pawn. So there you go, right? Okay, so I'll just leave it at that. Would white take here? Well, that would be pretty stupid. Maybe he'd move the king up. Again, it's a game, folks. Maybe he'd go like this, right? And okay, he works his way in this, see? He doesn't want this to be played. Look, he doesn't want to do this. Because now when he tries to hang on to the pawn, he blocks him right out. And then the bishop retreats and you win it, right? That's different. This might be different. Okay. So anyway, that extra pawn there might make all the difference, all right? Now, anyway, he slips the bishop in. Dark squares, folks. Dark squares, right? So now what? King G2, and I know we already exhausted ourselves with the other position, and this is getting kind of long, right? But I think it's the same idea, okay? If the king would have to support this one, right? The difference in this position is like we got an extra F pawn now, right? So we would have to support this guy to push that up. Maybe. Let's try this, right? We'll try the king coming up. All right, maybe this king comes up and then, I don't know. Doesn't matter, folks. Bishop E7 they're saying, huh? I think we may lose that G pawn, Black may lose that H pawn. Here he comes. Look. Here comes Bishop C5 attacking the pawn. Oh, he's coming from behind now. Look at this. F4. Right? Oh, look. Wait. He could come this way. All right. Let me see. Now I'm curious. Here comes the G5. Right? Now the bishop, you see, he protects from F2. He protects from F2, right? Look at this. He attacks this one. Look at this. Tactical resources, folks. He's attacking it. The king can't protect him, right? All right, he comes up, right? And now, now he could work his way right in here, really. All right, king's coming up. All right, so what was Black's move? He played bishop C5. All right. The king comes up to push. I mean, if the king ever moves over here, right, to try to win this, you see the bishop coming to f2 to protect it, right? So he'd have to get off of that idea, okay? You have to get off of that idea. Bishop, if the king come over here, bishop to f2, and he defends h4 pawn, right? So, like, if he tries to come up to support f6 next, right? We check him. The king on e7 will support the bishop check, and the king has to back off, right? See, look at the engine. It's drawn, folks. Even with the extra pawn, dark squares, folks. Black controls the dark squares. If he if he pushes up now, okay, they're saying here, okay, big deal. You try to buy time with this guy, does nothing, right? Does nothing. All right, we go to the light squares. We rock back and forth. Okay, wait a minute. Now the king could come up, though. All right, look at this. Wait a minute. Did he get a tempo? Now we can play f6. Okay, doesn't matter, folks. All right, we take with check. It's a check move. We can't push on, right? We can't go forward. Not that that would even lead to anything, I don't think. Maybe it would. I don't know. But anyway, he's forced to take, right? All right, king comes over here, right? Folks, what did we talk about last game? F pawns, H pawns, they're isolated, right? What's going on, folks? What's going on? Bishop over here, okay. What do we do? Let's see, what do we do? How do we do this? And we still got the H pawn over there. Still got the H pawn. Oh, okay. Okay. Black could try to win the f6 pawn. He would have to bring his bishop back and then attack it, but he doesn't have enough time. Maybe that's why bishop b6, because white has to check, backing him off the light square. See? If he was to waste a move, even he couldn't waste a move right now, because even on the attack, white still has to check. See? And he can't take like this, so obviously he'd have to back off, right? The king comes up, going after the other pawn. I mean, we still got the dark square blockade going. The king's on f8. How is white going to move him off of f8, right? The only idea here is to win that f pawn. They're saying to go f right here. Let me see. I think this is better. You try to win this H pawn, right? Okay, you can't do it. You can't do it. All right, what am I thinking? You try to come over here to win it. The bishop. All right, look, he opts to go for this to the other pawn. I was just saying you could just protect it like this. What are they gonna do, folks? What are they gonna do? Right? We go after him like the engine said. Let's see. All right, he pushes that guy on. No problemo now, right? All right, look at this. They protect from here. He protects from there. King chases him out. King d4, right? The nuisance, folks. It's a nuisance. This dark square bishop. There's no way, though. I'm telling you, there's no way. You can't make any progress, all right? I think we'll be here. We're really exhausting it now, okay? But it makes no difference. Remember the other scenario, folks? Here, I'll tell you what. Here's our game. Here's what we do. Wait, let me make sure this works. I think the bishop's got to cover the f8 square again, okay? But he's got the two pawns on the f file, though. I mean, at this point, we could probably just keep moving the bishop, right? Keep moving the bishop. What's he going to do, right? What's he going to do? There we go. Oh, we can't. Oh, look at that. He just offers the bishop. Stalemate, folks. There's another pattern for you. Another stalemate. I thought that was a blunder there, but the engine said it. Now they're just moving the bishops. The engine's looking for tempos. It's nothing here. Nothing here, you understand? All right? We do this all day long, huh? Do this all day long. There's nothing there. The engine doesn't know what to do anymore. Let's say you push this one. Here's the idea, right? You push this one, You got to try to win the H pawn, right? Okay. Let's set it up. We try to win the H pawn. Let's see if we could do it, right? I mean, now, heck, we're on our way. Just to exhaust it completely, right? We try to move our guy. Oh, the king could take. The king could take. Can't even get off of there. Look at this. What a nuisance. What a nuisance. Let's go back to when I moved that F pawn. When was that? Okay. You attacked out when you push F7. King attacks, right? I mean, you can never get that pawn. You can never get the pawn. I was already over here. I was trying to attack it, right? What's he gonna do, right? He just goes back. Boy, oh boy. And if we buy a tempo this way, well, he stays on H. He stays on the pawn. He goes back here. There you go, right? What are we gonna do, folks? I tell you what. All he's got to do is go back and forth. Let's see this. Let's try this crate. Oh, look at it. The king's coming up. I wanted to push. I wanted to bring. Okay. I wanted to bring my king up here and push F6. But even then, the bishop redeploys himself over to protect this. And look, he comes up with king G7. All right. Dark square blockades and tactical resources galore, right? There you go. I mean, you can't make any headway. I exhausted it. I really had to look at this. Crazy, huh? All right. So anyway, folks, I hope you just enjoyed it. I know I kind of exhausted myself. I went over so many different possibilities. The engine, you know, in a scenario like this, it just runs out. It doesn't even know what it's doing anymore. It's just making bishop moves because it's drawn, okay? Totally drawn. F pawns, H pawns can't help one another out. Draw. So the old masters were right, okay? And for next time, we'll understand why, okay? All right. Until the next game, folks. We got how many? What game was this? This was game 14, baby. All right. Not bad. We're making headway. Okay. See you next time on Morphy's Games of Chess.